welcome you to the Final Hour podcast coming to you from Mac Hammond's basement. And we're excited to be here. My name's Jim Hammond.
I'm Linnea Farrell.
And I'm Guy Leibovitz.
And I'm JD.
JD. And we've got Baltimore. He doesn't want to be good. We've got Griffin Medina in here. That's a Jewish name, very Jewish.
What's up, y'all?
Yes, it is.
That's Baltimore's son.
Oh, wow.
Griffin Medina. Medina is Jewish.
Yes, I
They
know
could have been part of the Spanish that fled, the Spanish Jews that were kicked out of Spain.
Yes.
Yes, we figured that out when they were in Israel.
Yeah, Guy.
You know what? Let's start with that because it's super interesting.
Yeah,
it's going to lead us to our first subject because people don't understand how Jews scattered, to every corner of this planet, the world. And when Pastor Medina came to Israel, hopefully it's not too, thank you. Hopefully he's not, he's okay with me sharing it with you. But when I met him for the first time, I could see on his face that he's upset. He was probably insulted by some Israelis. And he just
in the airport. Security.
In New York and also in Israel.
Well, the Israelis have their people in.
You guys, that's such a the airport
Of
getting
course.
through the Israeli security is.
Even in New York.
I was in a holding room for 2.5 hours.
Well, they
prior
didn't
to my
strip you
flight.
down to your underwear behind a curtain.
Is that what happened to you?
Yes.
They did it to you?
Many years ago, like 2002. The guy had me basically in my underwear running this little thing going. And I was just I wasn't
Mad? Were you mad?
Oh, I was cussing at him. I was saying I'm not the terrorist here. I'm an Irish-looking man. Okay, I have no bombs.
So,
It wasn't exactly
Yeah,
politically
you had really red hair back
correct.
then.
Yes,
so
I
yeah.
did have red hair.
They don't do it anymore. Today they only question people. But when Pastor Medina came to the airport, they were so excited to see him, but he couldn't understand. They said to him, "Are you going home to visit family?" And he said, "No, I don't have family." Now, in his mind, they think that he's a Muslim or something.
Yeah, he did say that, yeah.
But they truly wanted to greet him. So he goes and board a plane and fly over to Israel. And when he comes to the custom, this passport control guy, and they said to him, "You're here to visit family, like welcome," and stuff. And he, no, I have no family in Israel. He rejects it.
He thought the Jewish people thought he was Arab,
Yes.
right?
A Muslim.
Yeah.
Muslim.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he goes to me and says to me, da 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 da. And
Yeah, we were on the boat. Yeah,
Yeah.
this was, and then we were on the boat to the Sea of Galilee, and you asked, "What is your last name?"
You're right.
Yeah.
And then he says, Medina. I'm saying, Medina, that's such a Jewish name. And I'm showing it to him. And I'm explaining that in 1492, the Jews were forced to leave Spain and find a new house or convert to Christianity. The majority left, but some stayed behind and they pretended to be Christians, but they kept their own tradition secretly. And many of them later on continued on with the journey. Like Columbus took a lot of Jews with him. People thinking that Columbus was a Jew.
Yeah, I've heard
also
that.
a convert.
Yeah.
Most likely that he was,
Okay.
because of the letters. He wasn't Spanish, by the way. He was Italian. And where he comes from, this was an haven for Jews because they could openly keep their religion as long as they're not influencing the others. But anyhow, Pastor Medina took my words, went back home, tested his DNA, and turned out to be that he's Jewish.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got a text.
Yeah,
So
So he's changed to Rabbi Pastor Medina at my phone.
yeah.
Yep.
And the interesting part is that over the generations, the nickname that people gave them was the Spanish, because they came from Spain.
right.
Yeah.
And even countries that you never hear about, I'm reading history right now in the 2 centuries earlier, in the 1100s, 1200s. The English were horrible to the Jews. They kept them all living in the same places. They blamed them for anything that went wrong. They would burn down, the places they lived with a regular basis. They
You're
weren't
right.
allowed to work regular jobs. This is all over Europe. all the way through time. It's just you don't hear about England because they didn't kick them all out of the country like Spain did.
They did at
Yes,
one point.
I'm sure they did.
They did. One of the kings forced the Jews to move out of England, and they did. And actually, only a few years ago, the British Parliament, in kind of in a symbolic way, cancelled this kind of king order,
Yeah.
and only then they came back.
I'm in the period of 11th and 12th century, and I'm astounded
Yeah.
at with just what they were doing. Everything was blamed on the Jews. Anything bad going with the country, they attacked the Jews.
But Pastor Jim, there is something very interesting. In my view, God didn't want us to feel comfortable nowhere, because we have only one house, and that's the Holy Land, that's Israel. The first place in the world where Jews could truly feel at home, although this is not their home. Hopefully my Jewish cousins that live in America won't be mad. We have only one house, and that's the land of Israel. But in America, they made them feel very welcome.
Up until now.
Up until now, now it changes.
Yes, yes, which is sad and very concerning. And so we have the famous Guy Leibovitz with us today. He's, we've got 4 spots on the Israel tour, February 3rd through the 13th. All right, and so consider taking that. You can see Jerry puts it on the screen here of how you can sign up. But
Once the spots are full, they're full.
Guy will also be here with us for next week's download. And we just want to welcome you. Please do subscribe to the Final Hour podcast. It really helps us. We want to thank our 4,668 subscribers on YouTube and our 1,500 subscribers on Spotify, and everybody on Rumble, Apple Podcasts, Facebook. Thank you so much. And we also want to say thank you to your number one fan in Israel that fame your podcast in Israel, named Ayelet.
Yes. Our number one fan in Israel.
Ayelet, thank you. This is your.
I love Ayelet. She's so sweet.
Yes.
She is a very knowledgeable girl. I was like, I can tell you are a guy's daughter. I mean, I haven't met your wife, but I'm sure she's so smart too. But Ayelet is just.
Looking forward to meeting you on the tour, Ayelet.
Yeah, she's coming with us for a day.
She does.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
But I want to apologize for those that are planning to sign up and we don't have space for them. We have to limit the number of people for the quality of the tour. We don't want to open another bus, but I promise we'll have another tour in the future.
Oh, yeah.
And people can sign up, to the waiting list, because it is one of the best tours that I'm guiding. What you guys do, very few other tours do. Like we're going to Samaria, and we'll be on the Lebanese border. We'll see what God did for us on the other side of the border. Stuff that no one else does, like very few tours.
The Lebanon border.
You're right.
Is that Mixkavan?
That's Mixkavan.
All right, we're going to Mixkavan. And that's very interesting. We used to be able to see terrorists looking at us. They probably cleared all that out now, didn't they?
Yeah, I think that if you know someone that know how to renovate house and you can give some numbers to our neighbors on the other side, that's going to help them, because it's all destroyed on the other side, every building.
You used to be able to see them looking at you and you looking at them from where we're talking about. This is right on the Lebanese border. We're on the Syrian border.
We'll be on the Syrian border, Jordanian border, everywhere.
We've seen artillery battles 3 to 4 miles out. Do you remember that a few years ago?
Yeah.
The Druze were fighting. Not Al Qaeda, but there's another one. There was Al Shabaab.
And you know who was the who established Al Shabaab?
Who?
The current president of Syria. Is the guy that?
Oh, the guy that Trump just had at the White House.
The guy.
Okay.
His name is Giuliani.
Okay.
And this guy that everyone hugs today, and I would love to talk about that soon.
Yeah.
Al-Qaeda wasn't extreme enough for him, so he went and established the Nusrayat al-Shabab, which means the good guys, or whatever the translation is. They're not good. Those people killed and tortured and raped and kidnapped people. And today he's the
president.
not only the president, but he's being hugged by Western world as a savior, which is totally not. He's a wolf in sheep clothing, and actually that's fulfilled something.
Yeah.
That's supposed to happen.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, Syria has to have. They have to be back in order to fulfill Ezekiel 38. They got to have a standing army. They got to have a military again, right? And
sort of, yeah.
And Trump's giving him the opportunity to rebuild. Trump believes him. We're after the next two podcasts, guys, with us. I'm going to tell you why not to trust the Syrian president.
Right.
All right, and Trump says you got to give him a chance. You do not give this guy a chance. You did not make the Israelis give up any concessions of anything on the border, like he's asking. You know, he's asking for a buffer zone. Remember, you guys moved into the buffer zone for your own security, right? And he's trying to get that back.
Yep. Not only that he's trying to get it back. Most of your viewers and most people don't know that 2 months ago we had an October 7th attack in Syria against the Druze, but not for 1 day, for 5 days. If you guys remember, in the Golan Heights, there is a nice family that hosting us in their restaurant. 5 of their cousins, like 2 parents and 3 kids, were burnt alive in their building.
Wow.
In Sweden, it's in Syria, so that's their direct cousins, and it happened for 5 days. And guess who stood behind it? Although he denies, but we know that that's him. Giuliani. Wow. He sent the
Syrian
Bedouin
president.
So then you have the reporters asking Trump, like, why are you having this guy here? And he says, well, that was in his past. We need to give him a chance. People's past can change, but
it's called taqiyya. It's what the Muslim you'll see in the Quran. They are supposed to lie to their enemies. They're supposed to make treaties when they're weak, and Muhammad explicitly tells them to annul it as soon as you're strong enough to continue your jihad. But again, I'm giving myself away for 2 weeks from now.
You're right.
I mean, we did talk about that before. But
You're right. What happened was Bedouin tribes went to those areas to take control. Now, Giuliani told the Western world that he's going to send his troops to stop the violence. They did only one mistake. His troops took a lot of videos, and those imbeciles went and published it on social media. So we see exactly what they do. And his troops killed, together with the Bedouins, so many Druze people. Now, those Druze...
The Druze, if you don't know who the Druze are, they're a people group. They're allied with Israel. Actually, they are in the Israeli military. A lot of them will join the Israeli military. Israel takes care of them. We've visited them many times in the Israel side.
You're right.
But there's a bunch of Druze in Syria right now that are being destroyed, persecuted. They had an October 7th. It didn't
for 5 days.
get reported, not 1 day.
We didn't hear about
5 days.
Right.
So we knew they were being attacked. That's all we heard.
Right.
That they were killing Christian Jews even.
The Christians were killed 2 or 3 months ago, and also the Alawites.
Yes. So
all of the
that's what
minorities.
that guy's doing in Syria. He's not going to... they're going to be strong enough in Ezekiel 38 to be called an army. They invade Israel. They're part of it. So...
Yeah, it's interesting because the Druze, in their faith, are loyal only to the land. They're not loyal to no one because they know that today I'm in control, tomorrow someone else is in control. So they're trying to be a kind of objective. There is one exception, and that's the Israeli Druze, which in 1948, out of the fulfillment, they saw the fulfillment because their main figure of faith is Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, and therefore they signed or declared a blood covenant with the Jewish nation, the same covenant that Ruth did. But the Druze in Syria were out of it. And now, because of all of the events, the Druze in Syria are saying, no, we want to be part of Israel. And there is so many Israeli, they're not hiding it. There is Israeli flags in Syria, almost in the outskirts of Damascus, and which taking me back to the Davidic kind of kingdom, because David took over those areas as well, and they want to be part of Israel, which the world trying to stop. And Pastor Jim, you're talking about Syria, building an army and everything. So in Ezekiel 38, it doesn't says in specific Syria, but it does gives us a list of countries, which the bridge between all of those countries is, as you said, the ground in Syria.
Yeah, they got to have it.
They have to have it.
They had to have it to get to Lebanon, to get all that stuff into Lebanon. They had to have Syria. I mean, all those.
You're right.
From Iran to Lebanon, it was open. Syria had to be open to Iran to get Hezbollah all their equipment, rockets.
You're absolutely right. And if yesterday during service, I was trying at least to explain about time for that, and I did the math, and we divided 6,000 years according to the Jewish faith, which each millennium represents something. And when you divide it 6,000 by 28, it takes you to 214 point something. Now, if you'll double it by 27, it's going to take you to a number, okay, of 5785.71 something. So 5785, that's the year that we're at right now, the Jewish year. We're counting 5,800 and let me check it. I have it over here because I don't want to do any mistake. Okay.
But if you weren't at service last night, you need to go to lwcc.org and watch Guy's message from last night. It was amazing. Okay. We'll put it in the more section, right, Jer?
Yeah. Okay. So I have it over here, and it's as I said, it's 5785 last year, but then we have 0.7, and this 0.7, when you divide 365 by 0.7, it's taking you to a date, and the date was the night of the attack in Iran. So that's opening a new era for us. Now, why is it so important? I'm going to share something with you today that's going to ban me from Turkey. I'm going to speak about Turkey today.
Going to ban you, like you won't be allowed to go to Turkey?
If me, you, or Pastor
They're
Jim,
behind everything. Turkey's behind everything.
Yeah. If you, me, or Pastor Jim will step in Turkey, they'll arrest us for saying what I'm about to say. So you guys ready for that?
Yeah.
So I can never go to Turkey to get a toupee.
No, your hair redone.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. I guess that's the big thing.
It is the big thing.
Okay.
So do you want me to talk about it?
Yeah, we do.
Yes.
So basically, Turkey today is one of the biggest powers in the Middle East. They're trying to gain back control. The Muslim Brotherhood, that's something that people don't know. Erdogan is part of the Muslim Brotherhood. Now Turkey is still kind of a democracy, and he almost lost the elections a few years ago. But to make sure that this won't happen, the mayor of the biggest city in Turkey, which is the opposition of Erdogan, was arrested, and no one knows what's with him. But Turkey now supporting El-Julani, the same guy that controlled Syria. They providing weapons and also support. Now, you're asking yourself, I'm asking myself a simple question. How come America, how come President Trump support Erdogan, support Julani? He was in the White House, like a mega terrorist, went to the White House. So why is that? And I think that God uses him. I truly believe that God uses him. I'm not sure if Trump knows exactly what it does. People are going to be mad on me, but Trump is a very complex kind of figure. In one hand, he has a lot of emotions, and that's his human side. But in the other hand, he does stuff that obviously God uses him. For example, stopping Israel from destroying Iran. Because we could do it. You know, we were a few steps away, and Trump himself said, I stopped their planes and I ordered them to go back on the 13th day of the war. Like 12th day of the war, that's the end of the war. And then the Iranians launched another rocket. 2 people were killed in Israel after the beginning of the ceasefire. Yep. And Israel said, okay, enough with that. We're not sitting back anymore. We're going after every one of them. And they sent the biggest attack from the beginning of the war. Like you guys can see it on your radars. And Trump stopped us. So why did you stop us? Because Iran needs to be there. Persia need to be there. If there is no Iran, it's going to push redemption, who knows how many years forward. So Iran is there now. But what I wanted to show you, and we'll put it on the screen for people to see what what Turkey doing in Africa. People are not aware. Like there is names of countries over here, like Put and Kush and some other countries. Gomer, and those are that's a European country, but in Africa, and so Put it's Libya, and Kush it's Ethiopia of today. Although biblically speaking, most likely that I don't want to say most likely, but there is a chance that part of Kush is also in Yemen. Okay, maybe.
And who's in Yemen? The Houthis.
The Houthis.
Okay.
You're right. And you see what the Turkey doing over there. First of all, they took control of their economies over there. They're searching for oil and gas. And they just discovered an enormous oil field by the shore of Africa, like in the Red Sea, which is going to give them a lot of support. But they also building enormous army bases in Libya and also in Sudan and a place called Eritrea. And Somalia. And they bring in troops over there and they training the locals. Now, when I'm saying training, it's not only military training, it's also radicalizing the people and to make them enemies of us. Us, it's not only me.
Yeah, the Erdogan guy is a bad guy. The Turkey guy, he's bad. Okay, so I'm just...
That's true.
He's bad.
He's bad. Turkey, bad. Okay, go ahead.
Well, good thing we can never go there anymore now. So
yeah, we can't. We were kind of wanting to go see all the ruins over there, but we're out on that.
We're done.
So
we're done.
Thanks,
no more
Guy.
of that.
Well, my pleasure.
One of these years, we want to go to. There's some amazing stuff in Greece, right?
Yeah.
We can go to Rome. So one of these final hour podcasts after.
I know I've been bothering Guy about this for a year.
We're going to shoot for 2 buses in Israel next year, though. Next year. Okay.
2027, not 2026.
Not this year. We only have 4 spots left this year.
Yep. So I think that...
sorry, Guy. Keep going on Turkey. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no. So everything that happens right now with all of the support truly fulfills Ezekiel 38. Now, the war of Gog and Magog, although most people thinking that this is the final war, it's not going to be the final war.
It's the beginning.
It's the beginning, exactly. That's the very beginning, and it's very clear through the book. But you're asking yourself, wait, how all of those countries that are far from Israel and they have nothing to do to Israel, who's going to connect between all of them?
Can I tell you how it's going to happen?
Yes, please.
Damascus is going to blow up with a nuclear bomb that Iran brought in, and Israel is going to get blamed. That is my take. Because Damascus, according to the Bible, has to be destroyed. Has to be destroyed. And I think Israel is going to get blamed for that because they've been bombing Damascus for 3 years, basically, right? So go ahead.
No, it's you kind of amazed me right now.
Yeah.
Because there is a man called Steve Rogers. He's helping me writing a book right now. And the name of the book going to be The Ezekiel Stones. Because there is a very unique tablet in Jerusalem, which is a bit different from the book of Ezekiel. Those tablets most likely came from the tomb of Ezekiel and were hidden for hundreds of years. No one knows how exactly they produced those tablets. Because the letters coming out of the plates, and some of them are limestone, some of them basalt. So it's something that men back then with their technology couldn't do. Something crazy. And there is few small, but not major differences with Ezekiel. Like at the beginning, when God sent him to speak to the people, in Hebrew it's called Vayomer. Okay, like God spoke to me. But Ezekiel says Vayamer, like in the tablets. Yamer in Hebrew means, and God kind of cursed me with this mission. Not in the way that God cursed him, but in a way that God gave me the mission to spread something that can risk my life, can make people chase me. Like it's not the job that I wanted to do.
Right.
So that's amazing. And I said to myself, exactly what you said right now about the nuclear destruction of Damascus. In the beginning of the book, I'm saying, because that's something that I remember from the army. I'll be careful, but we have teams, highly trained people that can penetrate into different countries, and from there they can penetrate into bases and destroy those bases from the inside. And if needed, they can even use what's there against our enemies. So I'm sharing it with you. It was a secret for many years. But a few months ago, during the war in Syria, Israeli troops, Shaldag, it's a special unit in Israel, and something that also I was connected to in the very, very past, took over an Iranian base in Syria, a missile base. They killed the guards. They went in. You don't need to come with a lot of explosives because the explosives is there on the missiles.
There, right?
And they just destroyed this base from the inside. I'm not revealing any state secret. Don't take me to prison or something. It was published by the state of Israel. I'm not sure why they published it, because sometimes politicians trying to fame themselves, like I gave the order,
Right.
but it's causing more damage than good because the enemy know what to expect now.
Right.
So in the book, I'm placing like one of those units to destroy Damascus. Like,
Oh, I see. I see.
because something need to happen. But what happened with this book, and Lonia, I shared it with you before.
Yeah.
I'm writing the book, and everything that we're writing suddenly happens in reality. Now, I'm not so smart. It's all in the book. It's all here. I'm just
Right.
read, and it happens.
That's
And
kind of like what we want to do, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. We want to do the same thing
so you guys are competition?
after the
I
rapture.
think so. I
We
think
wanna-
if
we
we
wanna
forward,
write
if we
another
write
Left
forwards
Behind.
for each other, we'll be okay.
We want to write another Left Behind, but different people. You'll be in it. You're going to be the Jewish evangelist that didn't make the rapture and you knew what was coming.
And I'm surviving.
And I'm going to name
yeah,
him
yeah,
Guy.
you
I'll
survived.
survive.
Yes, you survived.
Can we actually
And-
use your name? And do we have permission? Can you say that on here? Since we got banned from Turkey because of
Yeah.
you, it's the least you can do.
If I'm getting a cut, no problems.
I will give you a cut. So this is interesting stuff.
Yeah.
All stuff we've covered on the podcast. I've told you my theory. Damascus is going to get destroyed. It's in the Bible. I think Israel gets blamed. It kicks off Ezekiel 38. It gives everyone an excuse. Why would they go after Israel? Not just because of devilish hate, but because you guys have you've just got natural resources. The gas was discovered 2 or 3 years ago. Huge
You're right.
amounts of gas, right?
You're right.
And they're in Ezekiel 38. Supposedly, America asks the young lions, whoever that is, why are you guys doing this? Why are you guys all surrounding Israel? Are you doing it for spoil? Well, you're not just doing it for their fruit, okay? Trust me, or their olives. It's the gas supply. Look at Russia or look at Europe. Look at the whole energy thing, right? So
You're right, but this is just an excuse to make people go and do that. They
Yes.
spoil, because that's what is promised to them. Now, it's interesting because I need to send you this video. In October 7th, when they penetrated in, they took over one of the bases. It's very famous. It's a Nachal Oz base with all of those ladies, the ones that's observing into Gaza, and they placed them together in a shelter. And then one of the terrorists says to them, "You ladies are my spoil," because that's what they promised in them. So all of those people will go in to gain something for themselves out of greed. But actually, that's part of the satanic plan of destroying Israel. Because if there is no Israel, which nation the king going to return to? Like you read the prophecies, and sorry to be so negative towards people, but in many places, a lot of pastors that having no clue what's happening right now,
Right.
claiming that Israel is not Israel. So if Israel is not Israel, who the king will return to, which is so obvious in the Bible. Not for nothing on the cross, the Romans said, Jesus from Nazareth, the King of the Jews. Israel need to be there. It's obvious.
Has to be there, and that's why he's trying to take him away. That's
right.
why he's trying to wipe Israel into the sea, from the river to the sea, because then that makes it. Jesus is coming back. He's coming back basically on the Temple Mount, and you see, I believe when he lands, there's an earthquake that splits the Mount of Olives in half, and I think that next temple will fall into that, the tribulation temple. My mother thinks Trump is going to build that temple. Even after he's president, he's going to pay for that temple to be built. I think it's the Antichrist will build the temple. But, you guys, good luck with all that. We'll be in heaven. So...
In this
we can joke about this stuff. We can joke about this. Right?
That's perfectly fine.
Yes,
and we all know the end.
Yes, we do know the end,
and we know that the end is. Actually, I'm saying end. It's not going to be the end. It's going to be the beginning, the good beginning.
Yes.
But the point is, Israel need to be there. Like I shared it with the church yesterday. Like my name, when I saw it on the billboard. Like, I was in shock, like, first of all, to see my name over there, so thank you so much. But, like, who am I? Like, who's the Leibovitz family that I know nothing about them? Only a few months ago, I contacted a lady in Hungary, and she went back to track my family, and I had an enormous family. They all die. And I'm asking myself why all of those people die. Out of the hate to people? And the answer is no. The devil, the enemy, that doesn't want Israel to stay Israel because he knows that without Israel there is no redemption. That's what I believe.
There's no revelation.
Right.
There's no book of Revelation without Israel.
You're right.
Or Daniel.
So this entity is the one that's standing behind all of those things. So they can tell stories about gaining power and gaining wealth and stuff. But that's the tools of the enemy to blind people, to give them fame and to give them maybe wealth. That's what the enemy does. Like,
Yeah, like Candace Owens. But
can we actually debunk a few things? Because it's the Republican Party is really being split right now on the Israel subject. Yep. You have people saying like Israel rules the world. They're controlling everything. They're everywhere. Nobody can do anything. And then you have people like Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, they haven't come against Israel. They say they're Zionists.
They have.
I've listened to all their podcasts. I'm not going to argue about it.
They're saying Israel's behind everything.
No. They're saying that they don't agree with everything that Netanyahu is doing. They don't disagree with Israel and what it stands for, but they said that they don't believe everything that Netanyahu's doing is good, and they don't. So, like, I'm just saying, can you debunk a few of those things? Because you have people like Gen Z saying Israel is ruling the world; they're controlling everything. Nobody. I'm just saying, like, let's debunk it. We have some people.
10 million.
Okay.
Among
Israel's
them,
ruling the world.
But it doesn't matter.
This
is what's out there on TikTok.
Yeah, you guys on TikTok. So smart.
Pastor Jim, we do need to address it because that's what people think.
Yeah.
And we need to let them understand.
I just don't. I laugh at them.
You're right, but the vast majority are like...
ignorant 20-year-olds.
You're right, but like I used Isaiah 62 yesterday, like the absence of truth. In Hebrew it's der emet. Now look, Hebrew it's a unique language. Sometimes Hebrew taking a word and making out of this word two opposites. Eder, like Migdal Eder, where the Messiah is supposed to be born in, according to Genesis 32, Migdal Eder. Eder, it's the flock, like goats and sheep. But Eder is to be out of the flock. So Eder means to be away from the truth and not with the truth. And I think that we need to help people see the truth. I'll give you an example. In Charlie Kirk Memorial event, Tucker Carlson said a bunch of priests in Jerusalem wanted to kill Jesus. The Jewish nation paid such a heavy price in the past 2,000 years because of this event, because the church couldn't understand it. Pontius Pilate wanted to set Jesus free.
Yes.
But Jesus needed to be crucified on the same day. And when Jesus in Matthew 16 reveals to Peter and the others what is about to happen to him, Peter says to him, "No, Lord, like in my words, I'm not going to let it happen. I'm going to stop it." And Jesus says to him, "Go behind us, go behind me, Satan," which means only Satan wants to stop it. And in some way, to me, maybe it's I'm protecting my nation. I'm not sure if they did it out of good intentions. But when Pontius Pilate says to them, "I'm going to release him," they said to him, "No, you're going to crucify him."
Release the murderer. Barabbas.
It's interesting. I can explain something. It's very symbolic because most people don't know that those two named Yeshua. Those two named salvation. One is Yeshua Bar Abba, the son of the Father, and the other one is Jesus. Okay? Now, in the Day of Atonement, there is an event with the high priest standing in front of two goats. One of them becomes to be the ultimate sacrifice, and the other one set free. In some way, when the priest is telling Pontius Pilate, "Crucify Jesus and release him," in a very symbolic way, this is releasing humanity from the sin. Because the son of the Father, which is Abel, the murderer, because he was a murderer, was set free. And they insisted on the same day, "No, we have to be crucified." Like the high priest.
I never
That's
thought of
big.
Barabbas as one of the goats. That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
that gets
he's the scapegoat.
Wow.
Crazy.
The son of
See,
the Father.
I told you guys he has a lot of revelation on Jesus. And if you come on the Final Hour podcast tour, you'll hear a lot more than that. You'll hear a lot more than just that. Wow, there was something I wanted to say. Oh, I have to say, I know that I said 20-year-olds. There's plenty of idiot 60-year-olds too, okay?
Yeah.
Probably just as many, all right? They're just not on TikTok.
No,
And
they
so-
are. They are.
Are
on
they the
TikTok.
60-year-olds are on TikTok too?
Yes, it's called
That's-
doom scrolling at night.
That's
Like
where
put your phone
that's
down
where they're
and
getting their
pray.
information. So I know it seems like I'm always beating up on Gen Z, but let's be real. You have a
you
lot
got
of
mad.
you have a lot of old. To me on TV, what I see is white, old liberal women that are very annoying.
And very angry for no reason.
Angry
But
white liberal women that have no idea, right? That they just have no idea.
they're just they need Jesus.
Do you
They
know
need
what
some
I
love.
see?
What?
What do you see?
see?
I see lost people,
Yeah.
Yeah.
empty vessels
Yeah.
that
Yes.
have no answers,
Well-
and the enemy knows exactly.
I need your compassion.
No, it's not out
That's why
of
I hear shit.
compassion. The Western world
Yeah.
offering such a big prosperity, and people are in a race after nothing. They're so empty. They're always trying to feel good with themselves because they're so empty, and they're
Yeah.
looking for answers. And the enemy always comes with those things. And they're so confused. I'm praying for those people. It's like when Jesus came to take demons out of people, that's exactly what we see. Those people are possessed.
Yeah, they are.
And the enemy knows where to touch. You know, everything with Gaza, that's why the Republicans are so divided today.
Yeah.
Because they see images from Gaza without understanding what they see. Gaza is the most complex battlefield in the history of the world. It's the most condensed place in the world. We're fighting door to door, trying to save lives of civilians, not kill civilians. We're warning them. We're begging them to go out. I can send you videos of people getting phone calls from the Israeli army. It's all on the web, asking them to leave their houses. You know, if you would go into Gaza the way you went to Iraq, 1 million people would die over there. I'm serious. The fact that it's only 65, I'm saying only, it's a big
Well,
number.
the 65,000, that's Hamas Health Ministry numbers. So I would say it's half.
Even if it's true or not,
Right. I don't
half
believe
of them are terrorists for sure.
Right.
And the other half, their people see them as legitimate warriors of God. They're there to die because they know that if we kill them, then those white ladies, the progressive liberals in those
View.
TV shows,
Yeah.
will all speak out
Yes.
for them. So
Yes.
they playing on that. That's what they're trying to do. They don't care how many people die. Before the war, one of the Palestinian leaders declared that if they need to sacrifice 2 million people to achieve their goal, which is the destruction of Israel and the Jewish nation. Who wants to destroy the Jewish nation? Why a guy in Gaza wants to kill American Jews? Well, what is to do to him? Because there is no Jewish nation, there is no redemption. That's what those people trying to do, and the enemy uses them. The devil uses them.
Yes.
And I want to say one thing. Remember, so I didn't know that they captured a whole base of female IDF.
And men, yeah.
And so the guy says they get all the women in there. The terrorist walks in there and says, "You're my spoil."
Yep.
This is what I'm talking about in 2 weeks. We're talking about Muhammad from the beginning and how it got started and how it turned. And I'm so excited. So keep checking us out. Guy will be on the next podcast next week. And then after that, we're staying with this subject. Do you have anything to say, Linnea?
No. We're going to talk about the suicide sympathizers. Have you heard of Dr. Gad Saad? His name is?
No.
He was from Lebanon. He left because of the Islamic rule and came to the United States. And he was on Charlie Kirk and he was on Officer Brandon Tatum's podcast. And he was explaining how the West is like turning, they call themselves like suicide sympathizers because the West is like kind of caving to, like what we voted Mamdani in New York, right? A place where they said they'll never forget the terrorist attack and what happened on 9/11. And then there you vote in a guy who's promoting Takia, obviously to get into position of power there. And so the guy, there's so what?
I just want to point out something about that. Notice right after the day after he won, you had Muslims with their prayer mats in the street praying. That was what they're saying is we own this place because they pray in mosques.
Yes.
Right? You don't see them praying in the streets.
According to their faith, the moment that they're moving somewhere, it's theirs.
Yes.
Right.
But someone invented a time machine.
I believe it.
I can prove in 10 seconds that you guys can go kind of forward in time and see how America going to look like. You know how
that goes with astral projection.
No, it's much more simple
We're
than
not
that.
allowed to talk about that apparently, even though many people are astral projecting right now. I don't know if you know that.
Wait,
Okay.
it's much more simple than that. It's
All
called
right.
buy a flight ticket to Europe.
Yeah.
You fly.
Oh,
you buy a
yes,
flight
yes.
ticket to Europe. Go to
Right.
Sweden. Go
Right.
forward in time. See how America going to look like.
Yeah, because they said in 500 years, if this is how we keep doing, probably less than that.
25
we'll be
years,
there.
Linnea. I'm telling you,
No,
25
this is
years.
what they said, 500.
I'm
But
there.
have you heard? I heard this fact. This is what Dr. Gad Saad said. Since 9/11, there's been 47,000 terrorist attacks in 70 different countries. 47,000 terrorist attacks.
Not surprising.
No, and then we vote in Mamdani in New York. It's just wild. And then you have Dearborn, Michigan. Okay, I know. We're just, but like,
Yeah, but it's ignorant.
it is, and this is why
liberals.
Guy is here.
And I know I've got to call myself on it. I got to quit going after the Gen Z because you've got just as many that are my age, right?
Well, I thought, didn't they say Gen Z? I know millenniums, but they said that they think they'll be the most conservative group of people because they see what's
It's
happening.
hard to see that though when they're being educated by a
Griff?
bunch of woke teachers, and the whole teachers union is woke. All the college professors are woke. Like how that means,
Yeah,
transgender,
Well, Guy was telling us
homosexuality.
about his daughter's Bible teacher in Israel.
Furry
That's
people, they want to be identified as a raccoon.
Speaking
I know,
of furry
yeah.
people, you guys, really
Yeah.
fast.
So that's what I mean by
No,
woke.
listen, there is a guy running for mayor.
That's a furry.
That's a furry in Michigan. His name is Elon the Badger, and he is a furry running. You guys, this picture of him, that's him.
Maybe I'll go be his competition as Rolo the golden retriever.
Rolly would get more votes. He's cute and happy. That guy just looks lazy. Like, this is the kind of
This
people we
what-
want in politics. And
This is where we're going in America. Do you guys have any badgers running for office over there yet?
We don't, but maybe this guy need a rabies shot before, just in case.
Listen, we have so much more we want to talk about, and I'm sure you didn't even get going.
You're right.
Guy's amazing. He has
right.
so
we
much
didn't
knowledge.
let him talk
Ah,
enough.
don't stop.
But
Sit down,
this alone was thought provoking, I think. And you've got to check out his message at Living Word last night. I mean, some things that have never been reported.
Yeah.
The Israeli F-35s, was it? No. Was it F-35s that were
F-35.
shooting ballistic missiles? What plane was that? You can't tell, can
No,
you?
I don't know which planes, but the kind of
He had a picture of it.
modified
Yeah.
the F-35 to carry missiles.
Ballistic missiles.
I'm not sure if this plane can carry such a heavy rocket.
Right.
I'm sorry, a missile. But one of the Israeli planes could carry it, and they used it.
Okay, so that's groundbreaking, right? Usually, a ballistic missile is shot from the ground,
You're right.
and for the first time ever in the joke of a war over there, where Israel didn't lose a pilot or a plane, and they bombed Iran for what, 14 straight days? That's where Trump goes in.
12 days.
12 days. Trump goes in and takes with our planes, takes out the nuclear.
Oh, you mean the stealth mission that happened overnight?
What-
Was it part of that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
All of that in that little war. That was a
Oh,
war.
okay,
That's
okay.
considered a 12-day war.
Okay.
From what I know, what the Americans told us was, if you guys open the way for us, we'll come in. And without thinking that we can do it, because it's all Russian, North Korean, Chinese anti-craft systems. And in 72 hours, in 3 days and 3 nights, we
Wow,
knocked down
3
their
days, 3
entire anti-rocket, anti-missile system, every one of them.
Something else you never heard that also is they had troops on the ground
Yep.
in Iran, and you never heard this in that 12-day war. And so we're gonna pick up from there. You'll see us come join
Guys,
us.
just a to be continued every
Yeah, this
single
is-
segment that he's done.
This is
so
going to
far.
be to be continued. Really, it started last night for the Wednesday night
Yes,
service.
yeah.
You're going to hear things that you've never heard, for sure, and it's amazing. It's amazing. There was a Jewish rabbi that prophesied the date of that 12-day war 200 years ago, and you can see how that happened if you tune in last night's service at lwcc.org. And so we will see you next week. We'll be back with our Jewish superhero, compassionate,
Yes.
with compassion.
It's just
It's
show
just-
you how our
No,
society.
it is our society, but
But it's like lack of morals and lack
It
of
is.
direction,
It
and our society is breaking apart because people are away from the book.
Yeah.
That's exactly the warning that God gave to Israel. If you'll go away from me, that's what's going to
Yeah.
happen to you, and that's what happened to the northern kingdom of Israel when they went away from God, when they adopted other gods, and then they began to kill their kids like flies.
But he gave them a lot of generations of mercy before he finally took them away.
You're right.
The Syrians took them away.
You're right.
You don't hear as much about them being
You
taken
don't.
away. But we'll pick
this
all
is
this
Jim's
up.
third close. This is the third time we've tried to close.
Yeah,
so let's
remember
do
to
it.
subscribe. Check out our Israel tour. And if you don't make it this year, we're going back in 27. God bless you. We'll see you next week.